All right. Hi, everyone. Megan here with Ocean Rehab and Fitness. We're here again on a Thursday doing our weekly workout. Thank you so much for joining. It's a really good day to work out inside today. If you're in BC, still really smoky out there. So let's stay safe and stay inside. And today we're going to get into a little bit of shoulder control. So a little bit more technical work with the shoulders, which can benefit all of us. And don't worry if you have any like shoulder injuries or anything like that. This is even more for you. So we'll be doing a bit of that today. And then we're also going to get in some cardio today. So some timed intervals with some of our dowel work that we've all been working on. So to start, if you have some type of small ball that you like to use for self-massage, we will be doing that. So tennis ball, lacrosse ball. If you don't have something like this or you don't use something like this, feel free to just use your hand or your fingers. We'll be using that and I'll guide you through that, okay? Otherwise, we're going to be using a band. So a longer band would be fine, preferably more lightweight. So one of the not so tense bands would be good because we're doing a lot of the shoulder type work. Okay, and a dowel. So a cane, a dowel, an umbrella, a hockey stick. Some of you are using your dragon boat paddles. That works. Okay, so I'll give you like 10 seconds or so to grab those things. And just a reminder for those of you that are going to be coming in from Facebook, you can write comments and I will get them. Probably delayed slightly, but I will get them and I will answer any questions that you may have. If you are in the Zoom, you can just write in the chat and I will get to it as soon as possible. Okay? Or just comments. Doesn't even need to be a question. All right, so let's get started. Before we do our warm-up, we're going to get into our self-massage. So I'll demonstrate with the ball today. Otherwise, you're just using your fingers. We're going to get right into the pec. So you want to make sure that this arm, this side that you're doing is relaxed. So we just want to keep it down, okay? And just kind of rolling in that spot. Okay, so trying to get in deep enough where we feel some pressure here. Females, you're going to need to dig kind of deep and go behind the breast tissue. Okay, so you got it's there, it's below that. So we need kind of right in behind that. Males, it's a little easier accessed and it'll be a little bit more, you'll be able to go a little bit more right along the chest there. Okay. So working right in there, getting into the spots that don't feel very good, like a little bit tight or tender, and not overdoing it, but just a little bit of uncomfort is fine. Okay, good. Getting right in there. And then we're going to go right into your subclavicle. So there's this clavicle bone right here. It kind of runs two pieces like right along. You're going to go right under it. So you can kind of see mine. There's a bit of a ridge here. So you want to go just under that. And you can always support your arm if you need to and just kind of get right in that meaty section. Okay. It's a few seconds here. Good. And then we come back up, we'll come right up to the neck. So right in we have some really bigger tight muscles that can get super tense right up at the neck here. So you can kind of roll and find that area. It might even be like, feel like a bulge on the ball, like it would feel like a bulge. If it's your fingers, you might feel like almost like a little mini mountain or rock. It's kind of where we want to be. So find that spot. We're just going to dig. Digging right in there. Okay, doesn't really matter. You can do circles, cross fiber forward and back, whatever's easiest. Sometimes this can be awkward for some, so this position. So just do what you can. Okay. Awesome. Okay, good. And then we'll just set that down for a second, and we're just going to do a bit of that activation work we do. So you're just going to take your other hand and just kind of start to activate a bit of those muscles down along your side. So along the rib cage, at the back, Just some nice slapping right in here, getting that blood flow, feeling that kinesthetic awareness of what's there. And then we can end that. Good. All right. Other side, starting with pec. So grab the ball if you need it, or if you have it, and coming right in here. Okay, and don't be surprised if these are very tender or tight, especially if we're finding ourselves a little bit more indoors these days. We find ourselves sitting a lot, right? So that all kind of ties in with our seated posture that we tend to have when we're not thinking about it. And we're all guilty of it. But this can be one of those feedbacks of how we're doing with that seated posture. If we're really, really tight here, even for manual wheelchair users, we want to think, okay, how am I sitting, right? In my chair, how am I sitting when I'm not wheeling? How am I sitting when I'm wheeling? If I'm wheeling a lot, am I stretching this area out, right? Counterbalancing that concentric contraction that we're getting a lot with that type of movement pattern. Okay, and then coming back up, so right in here, below that collarbone, that ridge, getting into that spot. Nice. Okay, and then we come into the neck, traps right up here. Okay, and we find those spots that don't feel nice. I think most of us know what I'm talking about. Okay, get right in there. I know I said to keep this arm relaxed, and you can, that's fine, but notice how even though I'm hooking here, my shoulder's still relaxed. So I'm not doing this, right? I'm basically letting my arm hang. I'm just hooking with my fingers. So that's allowed. As we just don't want to tense up in that trap because that's what we're trying to release. Okay, and then we finish that. We can put that ball away for today. And now we come up under and we're gonna do some activating right under that armpit, all the way down the ribs, trying to get right behind the back there. So we're hitting some really big muscles right here. Try and wake them up. Okay, good, awesome. All right, so we're gonna actually start with some cat-cows seated. So we're gonna start by rolling down through the spine. So you're gonna tuck your chin, roll down through the spine and make a nice big C curve out of your back. Okay, make sure that you are tucking your chin on this one. We don't wanna let the head hang. Okay, and then we're gonna slowly roll up. Then we put our hands behind us if possible, eyes to the sky, shoulder blades in your back pockets, and heart to the ceiling. And you're gonna try and make the opposite C curve. Okay, good. Take a deep breath as you move, and we round down. Tucking your chin, rounding in that spine. Good, slowly come on up. Eyes to the sky, shoulder blades in your back pockets, heart to the ceiling. That's it. Okay, we're doing 2 more here together. Coming down, rounding in the spine, tucking that chin. This would be terrible posture right here. This is everything we don't want to do. Think you're getting really nice and big in that back, letting water drop down your head, and then rolling up. And now this is going to be a better type of posture that we don't ever really do. Shoulder blades back, lift the heart to the ceiling, and try and get a C curve out of your back the opposite way that you just did when we were in the rounded position. Okay, and good. We're going to do 1 more together, tucking that chin, rolling all the way down. Rounding in the spine. Coming up. Okay, hands behind your back if you can, eyes to the sky. Shoulder blades in your back pockets and lift through that chest. And very nice, good. From that, we're gonna do some shoulder rolls. So coming up nice and big, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 5, that's it, and 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Coming forward and, or sorry, backwards now, 1, that was forward, 2 and 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Good. Okay, shoulder squares. So we've done this before. We're going to take the shoulders and we're going to shrug up and then relax back down, okay? And then we're going to take them down to the floor. So we're going to think of depressing the shoulders down. So that's a really small movement. And then relax, okay? And then we're going to protract forward. So now we're going to think of our shoulder blades coming forward towards the screen. So it creates a bit of a rounded chest, like I'm almost like if my confidence got deflated. Oh, I just come make yourself really small. So shoulders come forward. You'll feel a lot of space happening back here, and that's what we want. And then come to neutral. And the last one is now our famous scap squeeze that we always do when we touch the back, which is retraction. So we retract, and if you need to take your dowel for this next round, if you need to just tap back there and just find that spot, I should have done that for you, or you can just bring your hand back and tap. Okay, try that. And we're gonna do it again. So big inhale, coming up, shrug. Notice how it's just my arms and shoulders moving. And relax. We're not shifting anything else, okay? Depress down, small movement right there, and relax. And then we protract forward. Feel the space in your back, get really wide in that back side. Upper back, and then back to neutral, and we retract, shoulder blades go back, keeping the arms relaxed, feeling the tension between the shoulder blades, and then relax. Good. Again, big inhale, shrug, exhale, relax. Okay, and then we depress down and relax and protract forward and relax and retract back and relax. Good. Let's do one more together. Big inhale, up and relax and depress down and relax. Good. And protract forward and relax and retract and back. Awesome. Good. We're going to reach the arm up, getting right back into our dynamic movement, and other side. So I'll just pepper in a few of these extra little shoulder moves throughout our warm-up, since we are going to be focusing on that today a little bit more than normal. That's it. One more. Good. And now we're going to rotate over and tap. Tap over your shoulder as far as you can, looking over your shoulder, and then back to center. And tap. And back. And tap. And back. And tap. Good. And tap. And tap. And tap. That's it. And 2. And 1. Nice. Okay, now we're going to bring the arms straight out. Fingers are extended nice and big, if possible, and then hug yourself. Switching the top arm as we do it again. Open and hug yourself. And open and hug. And open and hug. That's it. Open and hug. 1 and hug. Good. And again. 2 and hug. Last 2 here. Open and hug. And again. Open and hug. Keep hugging, keep holding yourself, and you're gonna try and twist as far as you can, keeping the shoulders down. So it's all about, imagine it coming from your torso. Might feel pretty restricted for some of us, and that's okay. Just notice and take notice if you can rotate a bit more to one side. That's it. 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Good. All right, we're going to take one hand. You're going to bring it all the way over to the side and then sweep a table nice and wide and try and get back behind you slightly. My couch, I hit my couch, but if you can go further, that's great. And then the arm comes down. Cross over, sweep. Try and get it as far back as you can, following your eyes with your hand. Okay, cross, sweep as far as you can, and other side, rotate, and big open, sweep, and again, cross, sweep, open, and again, last time, sweep, and excellent, good. Okay, half neck roll, so you're gonna take your ear to your shoulder, come on down. Other side, and freeze, shoulder, ear, nose facing front, back, roll, and back, and again, roll, and back, and again, roll, just half. We're not taking it all the way back. And roll. Good, 2 more. Roll. And roll. Nice, coming up, and we're gonna look to the right, center a little quicker, left, and center, and right, and center, and left, and center, and again, 1, and center, and 2, and center, and 3. 1 more. Good. Last thing, we're going to come up. Last thing with your neck, tuck the chin, and center. Up, center, tuck the chin, and center. And up, center, tuck the chin, center, and up, center. Last set. Center and up, center, tuck the chin, and center. Good. All right. So I'm going to face sideways just so that we can all see what I'm doing. We're going to be working a little more on the shoulder retraction and protraction. Okay. If you have a chest strap and if you want to use it for this, that's fine, just to get yourself a little more stable. Otherwise, we're going to be sitting up tall, okay, and we want to think of, so the protraction retraction was this one, where we went in and then we did a scap squeeze, but we're doing it with one shoulder this time, okay? So I'm going to be here, and like I said, I'm just showing you side view so that you can actually see what my shoulder's doing. And we're going to have the arm extended this time. So instead of having it down at our side, we're going to extend the arm. So if I'm in neutral, if you're looking at my shoulder and I'm in neutral, my chest is somewhat lifted, and it's just like what you would have for like good posture. So I like to use the phrase, or think about the scene. If the queen were to come in the room right now, is that how you'd be sitting, right? And probably a lot of you just did this, right? And if you notice, when you did that, your shoulders kind of fell down a bit. So that's what we want to think of as neutral. So I'm going to put my hand on my shoulder for feedback, which is really good for some of us to do, that kinesthetic awareness. If you have a lot of pain and it's hard to just feel what's happening in this joint, I highly recommend putting your hand here and getting kinesthetic awareness with your hand, feedback. Okay, if this isn't accessible to you, that's fine. Just have your hand on your lap. And I'm going to protract from my shoulder, and I'm going to feel that shoulder blade. The shoulder blade's back here, right? And we want to feel that shoulder come forward. So I don't know if you can see that. When I come forward like this, you can now see that spine of my scapula. You can see that ridge back there, back here, and now it's like back, right? So now I'm rounded forward and then back. Okay, so I'm just doing protraction. So I'm not retracting fully. I have to think retraction to get it back to neutral, but I don't want us going all the way back yet. Do you see the difference? Okay, these are really subtle movements. Okay, so we're protracting. It's as if someone's pulling my arm forward, and then I'm coming back to neutral. And I'll just move my hand now so that you can see. So protract only, retract, just to neutral. Okay, so I'm saying retraction, but it's just to get back to where you started. So protract, and then think queen in the room. Boom. Protract, queen in the room. Boom. Okay, 2 more. Rest, protract, and then rest. Good. Give your arm a break. Okay, so now we're going to do neutral to retract. So neutral, retract, protract only to get to neutral. So you're not actually protracting. Okay, so here and here, I'm in neutral, and we go back, and then neutral. This is probably an even smaller move. Pull, and then neutral. So it's as if someone's pulling my shoulder blade back, and then neutral. And I'll move my hand so you can see. Back, and neutral. And back, and neutral. And back, neutral. Let's do 3 more together. Back, and neutral. Back, and neutral. And again, back, and neutral. Good. All right, we have 2 arms, so we're doing the other side. Okay, so here we go. I'll do the same thing. I'll show with my hand on my shoulder, and then I will take it off so that if anybody needs that visual cueing, you can use mine as a guide. Okay, so we come on up. Okay, I'm gonna bring my hand here. We're doing protraction first. So queen's in the room, nice and tall, and protract and retract back just to neutral. Protract, retract back to neutral. Notice how my elbow isn't bending, right? This joint is out of it completely. We're not even focusing on it. It's all in that shoulder. Neutral. Protract and neutral. Protract and neutral. Good. Protract and neutral. My hand will be off. Last 3. Protract, neutral. Protract, neutral. Last one. Protract and neutral. Okay, take a break. Also, just a note, don't get frustrated if you feel like you're not doing anything. This takes a lot of practice, especially if our shoulders have been adhesed for a long time. If we lack that range of motion, this stuff's pretty intricate. So if you're feeling like you don't think you're getting anything out of it, don't get frustrated with yourself. This video is up. It will be up on the Facebook page. You can always revisit this later. I do recommend this to be a repetitive thing. You would want to revisit this work quite often to get something out of it because it is very intricate. Okay. All right, going retraction now, neutral to retraction. So we're here. Okay, so we're going to take the shoulder. So queen's in the room, nice and tall. And now someone's pulling my shoulder back and then neutral. Okay, it will probably feel even smaller. Back and neutral. And again, back and neutral. And again, back and neutral. Back and neutral. That's it. Back and neutral. Good. And again, back, retract, neutral. 2 more. Retract, neutral, and again, retract and neutral. Awesome. All right. Get a little bit of water, and we're probably quite warm now with our shoulder work. So we're going to get right into some of the band work. Okay. We're going to superset some band work with overhead dowel. Okay, so get a little sip of water. I'm just going to answer some of these comments. If my hand starts doing the tingling numbness thing, is it okay to keep going? That's a good question. So, Linda, I would not. I'm curious if it's happening in one of the movements only. Are you getting tingling by just having your arm out neutral, or is it only on the protraction, or is it only on the retraction? I would be curious as to which one. If it's neutral, then I would probably want to reassess what your neutral looks like. If it's on the protraction, it's on the protraction. Okay, so I would try protracting less. what can happen is we have a really big nerve bundle, which I know Linda knows, but just for other people that are curious, they might be having the same thing. We have a really big nerve bundle up in here, right in here. And when we're doing all the shoulder work, if something's tight in the neck or in the pecs, it can create some compression on some of those nerves. And it can create some numbness or tingling. And it's typically harmless, but if we continue doing that movement over and over, we don't want to irritate the nerve. So on that protraction, Linda, I would just maybe don't protract so far. Just take it a little bit so that we're getting it in the range of still understanding what that protraction is and what you're doing, but not so much that we end up cutting off something in here. Because I know that's an ongoing thing for you right now. So try that out and see how you do with that and see if that makes any improvements for you. Okay, really good question, because I'm sure there's other people in here that probably have similar. Okay. All right, so let's get started. So we're going to be doing range of motion work with the dowel, supersetting with strength with the band. So actually start with your dowel first. I lied. Okay, so these are called around the worlds. Just a reminder too, because I see some newcomers on here. If you're part of Ocean Insider Club, a lot of these exercises I do with you in warm-ups are on that site. So if you're unsure of something or you want a little more direction on it, just go to the site and all the names and everything and instructions will be there if you just need a little extra support on your own time. Okay, excellent. All right, so we're just going to take the arms are slightly wider than your shoulders and we're just going to come up and then come all the way down. Okay, good. 10 of these together. Notice how my shoulders don't rise up with the dowel. So I'm keeping this gap between my ear and my shoulder quite large as opposed to this. Okay, we're not doing the shrug. Okay, and again. Okay, we'll call this 1 because I think some people probably need it to join in. 2. Okay, we're trying to get the arms as nice and high as we can without letting the chin come up with it. So I'm pretending I have a peach right here. Okay. Good. Five. Work to get extended elbows as best as you can. So some of us will probably be here. I want us here. So work to get that. Try and work towards that as best as you can. If you have pain in your overhead, don't push it to the pain. Just stay within a pain-free range, please. Doesn't matter how low that is. It might look different than me, and that's okay. And relax, 10 of those. Good. All right, grabbing your dowel. I'm sorry, you're grabbing your band. So we are going to be doing shoulder external rotation, but we're going to try one arm at a time today. So I'll just come in here. I know my face is cut off a bit, but I want you to see what I'm doing here. So I'm going to have this hooked up to a door or just what I'm doing now, wrapping it in my hand. I'm going to hold this other arm like so. If you need grip assistance, I would just tie like a knot and then you can put the knot around your hand like this, okay? I'm just going to show the easy way today, or the lazy way, I should say. Okay, so we're going to have our elbow is going to be right at our rib. It can be out a tiny bit, but I want you to think almost like, actually, it would be almost like I was holding something here, okay? So you don't have to do that, but if you want for the future, or if you have something handy, feel free to put something just right there, okay? Otherwise, you're pretending there's just a tiny gap, okay? And we're gonna take the band, you're gonna hold tight with this other hand, and you're gonna externally rotate. This ball isn't gonna stay, so I'll just pretend. You're gonna externally rotate out with that hand, and then back in, and keeping this gap the same, okay? Opening up, and then back. So we've done this before in this class with both arms at the same time, and now we're just going to focus on one. Okay, sometimes, most times, it's really good when you do anything that has to do with like bilateral movements, which just means we're using both sides, whether it's like your legs or your arms or your hands. We want to separate them and do unilateral, which means you're just focusing on one at a time. Because sometimes when we do both at the same time, it can hide our imbalances and the stronger side or more dominant side takes over. So it's really good to separate these and work on those weak links, okay? So just a few more here. I wasn't counting because I was chatting, but we do about 10, okay? Good. Other side. Okay, so I'm wrapping it, or if you're at a door, you can just turn around, okay? Having something at your armpit there, or just having it slightly apart, and we're gonna externally rotate and then back. So notice how my shoulder, my left shoulder here, this one, is staying nice and open. Yeah. And good. That's it, 2 more here. And 10. Awesome, good. All right, we're gonna do those 2 again. So starting with the dowel or around the worlds for 10, and then back to the external shoulder rotation 1 more round. Okay, so let's back up so y'all can see me. Hey, getting ready, here we go. And coming up. This is just to get that range of motion. We don't probably often put our hands over our heads for some of us with our elbows this straight. I know maybe if you're in dance or you train with me often, you would. But for some of us, this isn't an easy feat to do. So we want to try and keep that range of motion or restore it, what we have in our shoulders, so that we can keep doing our transfers, keep doing all the things we want to do for as long as possible or need to do. That's it, halfway. 8, 9, last one, and 10, and relax, good. Okay, dowel away or just at the side. Okay, coming in, I'm gonna start with the side I ended with. So wrapping this around or somehow hooking it up. This is why I wanted you to use the light band. This is better with a really light band, okay? You don't need a lot of tension to start with these little muscles. Okay, here we go. So having something just right at the armpit there, elbows pretty close. Externally rotate. Notice how my right shoulder really opens up and then back. Good. Move over this way so you can see. Six, that's it. We're just doing 10 of these. Okay. 8, we should be feeling the work right along the top and outside of the shoulder here. And last one. And rest, good. So right out here, okay? And if you need some more, like I'm going through this pretty quick, so if you need a little more work on those are easily done wrong, so make sure you can go on the site and check the video with the tip, okay, and that'll help. Okay, here we go, other side, and externally rotate, and back. Good. 5, that's it. And 8, 9, one more, and 10, and relax. Good, awesome. All right, you can put your band aside for now, get a little sip of water, and we're gonna get into some of our cardio, okay? So we're still working on some of the shoulder, the theme of the shoulders. We're still gonna focus on those protraction, retractions, but we're just gonna do it at a little bit more of a higher tempo, I guess. A little bit quicker moving, and we're gonna do some timed intervals with it, okay? So I'm gonna go over the circuit with you, and then we're gonna go over the actual form, okay? And talk about it a little bit deeper, okay? So just get a sip of water right now, and then we'll start in about 10 seconds. Okay, so first thing we're gonna do is focus on the protraction, and it's almost like we're swimming. So we're gonna have our arms up here, okay? And we're gonna think of pushing water away from us and then bringing it back in, okay? Push, back in, push, back in, push, back in. So I'm brushing a tabletop, so my arms aren't down. They're right along the, right at the height of my shoulders. I can't talk today. Push, okay? We're gonna be doing that for about 40 seconds, okay? And then after that, we're gonna reverse it and push forward and then in, forward and in, and we'll be doing that for about 40 seconds. After that, I'll give you about an 8-second transition. Grab your dowel, and then we're gonna do kayaks off to both sides for 1 minute, okay? So 3 things. So when we do this one, here, I want you to think of squeezing those shoulder blades, and then we push, and I'm retracting, and then back into neutral. So push, okay? So because it's timed, you get to go at your own pace. You don't necessarily have to go at my pace. But if you feel good with the movement, the quicker we move, the more we're gonna get our heart rate up. So as long as you keep your form nice and you can really control every piece of that. So retract, push, protraction, neutral. If you can do all that, then go ahead and start speeding it up. And then when we do the round 2, we're pushing away. It's the opposite. Push and then push away, lift that chest, retract, back to neutral. Boom, boom, almost like a breaststroke in the water, in the pool. Okay, then after that, we grab the dowel. I'm on the couch, so it doesn't look like I'm dipping low, but if you can, I want you to dip really low, all the way down, and then dip all the way down. So I don't want you to stop in the middle. I want you to go right through, side to side to side to side. Okay, 40 seconds, reverse breaststroke, 40 seconds, front breaststroke, 8-second transition, and then kayaking for a minute. All right, everybody ready? Cardio piece, here we go. 3, 2, 1, and hold on. 1, and here we go. 40 seconds, it's at your own pace. You can go as quick as me or not. Remember, it's more about the form. Okay. Sitting nice and tall. Some of us might be standing. Should be even taller. Okay, you're already halfway. Remember, there's no transition between this and the next one. It's just right into it. And all you're gonna do is reverse the arm pattern. Okay. 3, 2, 1, and forward. Awesome. Breathing. 20 seconds left. You're halfway on this. Keep your chin down. We don't want to get too crazy in the neck. Sitting tall. Last 10 seconds here. And 1. Excellent. You have 8 seconds. Grab your dowel. Starting in 4, 3, 2, 1, and we're off. Kayaks. Not stopping in the middle. Just nice big rotations. Bigger than mine, hopefully. Don't do this on a couch. Good. Keep moving. Your eye gaze can just go with the dowel so that we're keeping our neck neutral. Okay. If you want, you can also just keep your head straight forward, but I do recommend getting that big torso twist. Okay, extending each arm, driving that arm down into the floor. You're already over halfway. Remember, this one is 1 minute. You get a break after this, everybody. Excellent, almost there. 5 seconds. Push, 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 and time. All right, take a little break. I'm gonna time the rest, okay? We're gonna take a minute and a half, and then we're doing it again. So get water, and we're doing all three of those again in that same order, okay? If you want less of a break, you can always start ahead of me. If you need more of a break, you can always pause this later and join in afterwards, okay? So you still have 1 minute left from here on your break. Okay, hope everyone's doing okay. We're starting in 30 seconds. All right, everybody ready? Here we go. In 3, starting with your reverse breaststroke, 2, 1, and we're off, 40 seconds. Really protracting, retracting. Push that water away. Think of powerful. Imagine feeling that water resistance. So obviously there's no resistance in the air, but we want to have that water resistance. You're being really controlled. We're not throwing anything away. Breathing. No transition between this and the next one. So keep moving for 5, 3, 2, 1. Now reversing it. Push, push, push. Keep those elbows high. Back of the neck long, breathing. That's it. 20 seconds left. You can go as quick as you want, as slow as you want. That's the beauty of this workout. I can't see you. So work to your ability. No competition. Everybody's doing their own thing. 3, 2, 1. Okay, 8-second transition here. Getting your dowel. Starting in 3, 2, 1, and we're off. Nice and big. Driving into that imaginary water. Really rotating. That's it. Breathing. Keep breathing. "20 seconds left." Sitting tall. If you can feel your feet in the floor, I want you to focus on that while you rotate. Almost think of pushing into the floor or your foot pads. Okay? Get tall, tall, tall. You're almost there. 4 seconds left. And time. Awesome. All right. This time you're only getting a 1-minute break, and then we're doing those kayaks one more time for a minute. Okay, so 1 minute rest here, and then we're going right back into it. Just the kayaks, 1 round. Okay. Everybody's doing awesome. We're all still here. We're all still moving. Okay, you still have 25 seconds. Okay, ready? Grabbing your dowel. Starting in 3, 2, 1, and we're off. Last time, best set today. Let's see it. Exhale, inhale. Exhale and inhale, really focusing on your breath. This one as well, keep your pace up if you have control. Really dip down into the water. Remember, you might be dipping lower than me. I hope so. Excellent. Keep moving. You're over halfway. Breathe. This is it. Last 10 seconds. Push, push, push. Pretend like you can see a finish line. You're out on the water. 3, 2, 1, and time. Excellent, everybody. All right, you can put your dowel aside. We're done with the equipment, and we're just going to take a little bit of a stretch here. So we're going to take one hand across, catch the arm, and hold for a stretch. 30 seconds here. Okay, we're on the clock. Notice how my shoulders are the same height, so I'm not bringing it so high over that it's coming up to me, to my ear. Keep it down nice and low. Okay, slowly release that, shake it out. Other side, 30 seconds. Sitting up tall. Breathing through your isometric holds. Okay, always important to stretch at the end of this type of workout. And relax, good. We did a lot of mobility work for the shoulders, but still really good to stretch out with isometric holds as well, just so that we can retain some of that range. Okay, we did do some rotations, so we're gonna do a seated rotation. So sitting tall, rotate, and then just look over your shoulder. Okay, we're on the clock. Shoulders down away from your ears. Okay, deep breath, slowly release that. Same thing, other side. Really important to hold your stretches for at least 30 seconds, okay? I know sometimes it seems kind of long, but it's actually a safety thing. Slowly look over. If we hold something for less time, it can actually create our muscles. It creates like a protection mechanism, and they can actually tighten up more. So anything 30 seconds to a minute is typically a standard time that we want to range at for when we're doing static holds. It can be different for some people. I know some people that are living with MS, sometimes it's beneficial to do the full minute for some of your stretches and just keep it lighter. So not pushing your stretch so much, but keeping it to like half that and just holding it a bit longer. So you kind of have to figure out what works for you, but a general rule, we always want to hold at least 30 seconds for any of these static holds. Okay, relax. And just a little neck stretch. So we're going to tuck the chin. So make like a couple double chins here. And then look down at an armpit. So we want to be feeling this right along the side of that other neck, coming maybe into the back of the shoulder a little bit. Okay, on the clock, make sure your arms are relaxed. And our spine is nice and elongated. Okay, when we do these neck ones, we want to move out slowly. Slowly move out. Okay, other side. Tuck your chin. Looking down at the other armpit. So now feeling it along the lateral side of your neck that you're not looking at, so the opposite side. Maybe even into down into the side of the shoulder there. Okay, slowly unwind. Excellent. Okay, and we'll just do a couple shoulder rolls to end here. So the 5 forward, big shoulder rolls. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And now we take them backwards. And 1, 2, nice and big. 3, 4, and 5. Awesome. Good. All right, everybody. So that's today's workout. Remember that you can always increase what we did or decrease. So if you want to go now and add more of those cardio sessions, the circuits we did, you can add more. If you want to cut the time down next time, if that was too much, you can do that as well. This will be posted, so you can go and check that out, change it however you'd like. Otherwise, I will see you all next week. I'm so happy that you're all showing up, and I'm getting some really good feedback from the Thursday class. So thank you so much for continuing to come. Thank you for those of you that came that are new. I think I saw Patty on here, which is great. Can't wait to meet you. And yeah, I hope everybody has a great day. I will stay on here for a couple minutes just to make sure that nobody has any questions or comments.